Hello, friends. Welcome to Rise and Shine with Alissa. I am your hostess, the consultress, here bringing you badass conversations with amazing entrepreneurs from around the world. Because guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We are in the age of disruption where nothing's going back to normal, everything's up for review, and the more you know, the better your decisions can be moving forward. And to me, that is liquid gold. It is the very thing that allows us to stay fluid and adaptable in changing market conditions, in changing life conditions. And I have the privilege of having these conversations to bring them live to you. So, welcome, Sabrina. Welcome to the show. So glad to have you.
Thank you, lady. Thanks for taking the time.
Absolutely. So listen, firecracker is what comes to mind. Our first interaction was like sisters from another mister. We got on the phone and you're like, I have this community and I do all these things. And I'm just like, girl, we need to talk. Because I love, what's on your mug there? Grown ass.
Grown ass woman.
That's right. Part of the evolution of being a woman in business is getting to know yourself more intimately. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. And I think just the importance of reminding ourselves that yes, grown, right? But we're still learning.
Yeah.
So as much as like we're adulting and we're getting into we're having to pay taxes again and again, it's like we're still learning, we're all still babies, we're all still evolving. I really like what you were talking about as far as nothing's going back to normal, because what, like, back to normal, if you take that back 10 years ago, you could literally say the same thing, because every 10 years we're evolving, technology wise, fashion wise, mental and emotional health has like thrown us forward so quickly over the last probably 30 years. Um, my mom will sometimes say stuff like, dude, if I would have known this stuff when you guys were growing up, that was just 30 years ago.
Yeah. It would have been a
Things,
game changer.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So to me, like all the grand pursuit of business for entrepreneurs, like that is the thing that moves the world forward. We are constantly creating new value for emerging problems. So we are like at the forefront, bringing this conversion live. We're helping solutions meet the ground, meeting today's challenges with innovation and problem solving. So tell us a little bit about how your passion shows up in your business.
Yeah, absolutely. My community, well, the community that I run, that's my business, I guess, it's called Her Nation Global. There's two sides to the business. We go all in on media, we do podcasting, we really get women's voices heard and seen, right? We have a digital magazine. Women tend to be very small, they're very quiet, they're very like, they're whispering all over the place. And so I really lean into omnipresence, the importance of making sure that people know who you are and what you do. And that doesn't mean that we have to be gloaty. That doesn't mean that we have to be like the light shining on us all the time. But do people know that you sell something? Do people know that you have a service to provide to humanity? It's very important. As far as, how I kind of started with this whole thing, it's been a journey. I'm a COVID baby. So I came right out of the business, I guess, that I was running pre-COVID was actually door to door. A lot of people don't know that. I was running door to door in my adult life and pre-adult life. I was actually raised as a Jehovah's Witness. So I've been going door to door hawking religion since I was 5. And in my adult life, I ended up doing door to door. I was running 6 offices over 4 different states, predominantly men, 150 sales reps, straight commission, super masculine. And when COVID happened, the whole thing shut down and pivoted into online businesses. So went all in on entrepreneurship. That's all I had really ever known. I've been working for myself for a very long time. And I set out to help the women folk and create community around the struggles of entrepreneurship, the struggles of building a business. We're kind of fed this fantasy of like, work for yourself,
Mm.
drop the 9 to 5, make your own hours. And when you really get out here, you're like, damn, this is hard.
Yeah. No, this is not at all the dream they painted. They did paint the eventuality and the big shiny object. But yeah, no, it takes a lot of starting over. I
Yeah.
was just on a podcast, The Making of a Female CEO,
Mm,
and so much of what goes into what you and I have created, having community, creating that value for people and having something that people want to buy. No one likes to get sold to. Everybody loves to buy. But to augment those voices and to augment the space where value can be delivered, um, you have to have a vision. You can't create incremental success with incremental goals. So like I want to like shine a light on and appreciate that, like, yeah, work for yourself, have flexibility, but also you're now your own boss. That person that you used to like shake a finger at perhaps, or the ideas that maybe you're like, oh, I wish I could do them. Now you're at the mercy of being your own employee and boss when you're out here.
absolutely.
And that it creates a like I would call it like a reflection space where we have to reflect on what really is working for me. Where do I come alive and where am I finding myself stuck and swirling and not creating results, because now I am my own boss. I'm the one that's making all those decisions. So all the outcomes are on my plate. So
Absolutely.
how did that journey kind of come about for you when you recognized I need to make a new decision? You sounded like you went from a sales role in an organization to creating an organization and being head of house. What was that transition like, and what kind of identity come to Jesus conversations did you kind of have to have with yourself?
Yeah, so I didn't work for corporation. It was myself and a partner running it,
Uh,
for the door to door. So still an entrepreneur, still having to make like we didn't make sales, we made no money. That
right on.
was the logistics of it. So I've always been I have a hard time saying this because of the world that we're in. It's like I get so much hate for it, but I've always been in a mindset of lack when it comes to money. It's just if you're not producing, you can't pay the bills. I mean, it's such an odd place to be in a world where majority of individuals work for corporate and they're used to getting a stable paycheck every single week. When you're true like when you're truly working for yourself, you don't have that. Like there's no such thing. If you decide to call in sick, you make no money.
Right. Yeah. Your
Yeah.
business doesn't move then.
Yeah, so the mindset is so I mean, that's been forever. I mean, I've been in sales since I was 23 years old. I'm now 42. So, the mindset going into building a business, I mean, it's kind of messed up. It's kind of like you have to be a little bit fucking crazy to to
Yes.
wanna to, like, purposely do this to yourself. It's kinda like people who walk around with, like, mega tattoos, and it's like, "Dude, you're not normal." There's, like, something going on where you like the pain of that needle stabbing you all over the place. Entrepreneurship is the same way. It's like, the pain. Why would you elicit yourself to so much pain? Um, but I fucking love it. I was born to be an entrepreneur. I thrive on the chaos. The anxiety is like a normal state of mind for me now. And I'm just used to it.
I mean, listen, so anxiety, let me just break that down for a second. The anxiety is one of those things where it can either cripple you
Mm,
because it's forcing you to be scared and worry and shut your doors and hide under the covers, proverbially speaking, or you can normalize it and understand that it's a fact of moving forward, that it's one of the signals that you are on course because you're taking risks. Becoming and continuing to grow as an entrepreneur constantly has us checking in with ourselves like, is this a risk worth taking? Not, am I going to take a risk? No, no, no. The question is different. It's what risk am I taking?
yeah.
We gain confidence from taking those risks and coming out the other side intact or having learned
Absolutely.
something, or we didn't die in the process where it went sideways or didn't go the way that we expected, but it forges you in the process. It kind
Yeah,
of creates a, I don't know if thick skin's the right word, but it creates some kind of wherewithal to be able to say, you know what, I can expect this. I know what to do when this comes up. So I'm not going to allow anxiety to be this thing that shuts me down. I love what you said is like, it's just here all the time. I have to learn to dance with it. It's not going to define me. It's not going to wreck my health because listen, when you're doing high stakes business, anxiety can freaking wreck you. I have
absolutely.
I have been in that place where I cannot sleep at night. There is
Mhm.
so much on the line, my reputation, money, like all of these things, but if you let it shut you down, you lose.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You have to keep rolling forward. And, one of the things, the mantra, a lot of times people are like, what's the mantra? What's the thing that like keeps you going through? And I actually adopted this mantra when I was probably in my early 20s. I had already gone through so much in my life by the time I hit like 25 years old. It's insane. And I just there was a point where I said to my like, I took a breath and I just said a simple phrase, and the phrase was, "Everything's gonna be okay."
Mm.
And I think I had reached a point where, like, there was so many times where I thought I was gonna die, not like actually die, like I had a gun to my head or something, but, like, the anxiety was so intense that, like, I felt like death. Like, I felt like my anxiety was going to kill me, my depression was going to kill me, and I came to a realization that, like, I'm still here, I never died, you know? So, yes, it's hard, like, yes, everything is so hard, and you didn't die. Right?
Right.
Everything's gonna be okay. And so I just kind of and it's still to today, probably daily, where I'm like, "Oh my gosh," I just have to just calmly sit and just breathe and say, "Everything's gonna be okay." We're gonna get through this just like we get through everything else. And yes, hard. And it's the next step to greatness. It's the next step to evolve. It's the next step to wherever we want to go mentally, emotionally, financially, physically, to get to the destination, the vision, the dream of what I have.
Yeah, and isn't that cool though, that the idea that you can ride the wave and no matter what happens, you're going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. It might not be ideal. It might not turn out the way you thought. It might look vastly different as a result than where you started or thought it might be.
Yeah.
But there's this quote, I think it's in a Jason Mraz song. It's you win some or you learn some. And
Yeah.
like that's the goal. Like if you feel like I'm going to arrive and then everything is going to be unicorns and rainbows, um, that's your rude awakening in
Absolutely.
entrepreneurship. It's like there's always another mountain to climb. There's always another challenge to figure out how you can turn an obstacle into an opportunity. And so, where have you seen that in your life and in your business endeavors, turning obstacles into opportunities?
Mm. I mean, that is a magician, and entrepreneurs are magicians. Yeah. Like, that's just part of being the job. Part of the job of entrepreneurship is being a magician. We turn chaos into masterpieces. We turn anxiety into, snowball effects of creating momentum for ourselves, learning to step into fear, which most people don't do, in order to get to the next level. And the really awesome thing that I love about the position that I am in and the business that I decided to go into as far as community building is the steps that I am taking, I see as twofold. So, yes, growing my business, but also allowing other individuals to see that leadership skill and being able to take it on themselves, right?
Mhm.
So the community is women business owners. I step into fear all the time. I talk about how I stepped into fear, and then that allows them to say, "Hey, she did it. I can do it too." And so it's so interesting the dynamic of community building because you're literally doing and teaching at the same time. It's like the craziest dynamic ever. I didn't know that that's what I was stepping into. It's something that I've slowly realized, but every once in a while I hit a point where it's like, I can't do this. Like I'm too scared, I'm too whatever it is, right? All the things of just I just can't. And then I think like, would I tell somebody else to do this? Like if one of my ladies came to me and said, "Hey, I have this opportunity, but would I encourage them to do it?" Yes, 100%. So therefore, I have to take that leap in order to be there as the like bridge almost where they can say she started to lay the bridge for us, therefore, I have to step forward too, or I can decide to step forward too. Nobody has to do anything. And so that in itself has been beneficial to me, you
Yeah, and
know.
I think part of what I'm like feeling a kindred connection to you here is in the building of community, showing up authentically in like your power and your pain and in your struggles and in your successes. It is the thing that allows people to find kinship and identity with you, but also
Yeah,
to say, "Oh my God, so this is another person on this journey, and she's not a guru. She doesn't have everything fucking figured out. She doesn't know everything there is to know." Like there's this myth that we have somewhere in our I call it the industrial age upbringing, but that there is a solution to all the problems and it's already predetermined and you have to find out what it is. And I call bullshit. It's like, no, 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 we're all figuring this out as we go. And the more I have leaned into, especially since COVID, leaned into like, nobody's got a magic 8 ball that
no,
gives you exactly what the directions are. We're all making our best decisions with the information that we have as we move forward. And the more you can share with other people that that's the case, that it isn't, no, 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 I have it all figured out, do what I do. Maybe not, because that is the old industrial way of thinking that there is a prescription. Because think about industry. If there's a conveyor belt and you have parts and you have things that move along to a predetermined outcome and it's wash, rinse, repeat. That is not the age that we live in. It is not the age we're here to usher in either. So if we can be more present to the fact that everyone's doing the best they can, and to step forward into your own best means what you had said about stepping into your fear, about allowing yourself to be vulnerable and accept where you are and who you are in your stage of development. Yeah, you're not arrived. You're not there yet. You're not the ultimate you're going to be. And that's okay. We're
yeah,
breaking down some of the stigma that you have to be something presentable, something polished, something finished, when that is the one of the key distractions from
yeah,
creating success. Would you agree?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I can't agree enough.
Cheers. Oh, by the way, shout out to my BFF Kathy. This is my new Rise and Shine mug, episode 101. I got a fresh
Oh,
new
I love that.
mug shot with you here. So I'm so grateful that you came to talk about community and being brave to step into your fear, using anxiety as fuel, and like community is everything. Know who you
Absolutely.
have around you, because the simpler you can see your vision and what it is that you're striving for, the easier it is for you to determine what's an attraction for you and what's distraction. And this kind of badassery is for me one of the things that fuels me in my connections and my community. So I'm so blessed and grateful to have you here, Sabrina. Where can people go to find more and connect with you?
My main website is sabrinavictoria.com. And I'm everywhere. Facebook is where I predominantly hang out, Instagram second, LinkedIn, under Sabrina Victoria. And, I do want to say, as far as community, you talking about community and the importance of it, I think one of the biggest aha moments that I've had as far as diving into this world of being around a community of people that are like-minded but still different is the echo chamber. When we're by ourselves running a business, You're agreeing with yourself. You're saying, "Oh, yeah, yeah, yes, Alissa, I'm right." "Oh, yeah, yeah, Alissa, that sounds great. Oh, yeah." Because 'Cause you're just talking to yourself the whole freaking time, and there's no evolution that's happening. Part of growing in a business is getting around like-minded people, but we all have different ways of doing things. So when you start to outwardly talk, "Hey, I'm doing this. What are your thoughts? What's your advice? What's your feedback?" There are so many ways of doing things. Anything. There's so many ways of doing anything. And when you get in a room with individuals, then all of a sudden you start to be able to grab things that maybe you didn't know, maybe you didn't think about, ideas, theories, thoughts that you'd never even thought of before. I can't even tell you how fast my community has grown because I am in a community, right? Because I'm constantly saying, "Hey, I have no idea what I'm doing. If you have any advice on this, please let me know."
Mhm.
And they do. They let me know. And then I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that's freaking brilliant. I never would have thought about that before." I implement it and my business just grows exponentially. So I always say this around entrepreneurship or around anything. It could be motherhood. It could be getting along with your mother. It could be how to do your hair, beauty tutorials, fashion, anything that you want to do better at and anything you are passionate about. There should be a community that you are plugged into at any given time in your life. One thing that you are super happy that you want to do, and one thing that you're trying to do better at. You should be plugged into two communities at any given time during your life to have fun and to do better. And as you evolve, as you grow, those communities are going to switch. They're going to, they're going to evolve. They're going to move, and that's okay. But it's important as humans, we're supposed to be connected. We're supposed to be together. We're supposed to be growing in tribes and community. That's how we were built.
Yeah.
So always making sure that there's some people around you that are rooting for you, that are cheering you on, so that it's not just you and your own thoughts. You're not as smart as you
Yeah.
think you are.
No, and having me, myself, and I on my board is a really terrible idea because they all have the same thoughts. It's either,
Yes.
this is scary, run away, or this is awesome, go. You need
Yes.
some levity in there.
Yes.
Get yourself around some people. I am so happy that we got the chance to jam here today. So look her up, ladies and gents. Go check out sabrinavictoria.com. And see you next time, friends, for more info on how to pivot your life with new perspectives and to take in that which you need to grow in today's age of disruption, where you're not normal, you are unique. Get out
Mm.
there, create some value, and earn some money doing it. Thank you so much. Rise and shine, friends. We'll see you next time. Same bat time, same bat channel. Every Monday at 7:30 Eastern, we broadcast. Don't miss another episode. We'll see you all later.